In the vast, sun-drenched waters of Southeast Asia, nestled within the Lesser Sunda Islands, lies a young nation with an ancient soul. This is East Timor, or Timor-Leste, as it is officially known. Seen from above, it appears as the eastern half of the island of Timor, a rugged spine of land adrift in a turquoise sea. The country's domain also extends to the nearby islands of Atoro, a haven for marine life to the north, and the uninhabited Jacko Island, a sacred jewel off its easternmost tip. Looking at a map, one can trace its position north of the Australian continent and to the east of the sprawling Indonesian archipelago. Its capital, Dili, sits along the northern coast, a gentle curve of a city where the hills meet the sea. The first impression of this land is one of dramatic beauty and quiet resilience. Gentle waves lap against shores that have witnessed centuries of trade, conflict, and rebirth. From the air, the island looks like a sleeping crocodile, an image deeply woven into the nation's creation myths. This is a place where the pace of life seems to sync with the rhythm of the tides and the slow crawl of the sun across the sky. The landscape of East Timor is a testament to the raw power of nature. It is a country dominated by a central mountain range that runs like a great spine from east to west. Peaks, such as the majestic Mount Ramelau, the nation's highest point, pierce the clouds, their slopes covered in dense forests and hardy grasslands. From these highlands, numerous rivers carve their paths through the terrain, rushing down steep gorges during the wet season and slowing to gentle streams in the dry months. These waterways are the lifeblood of the island, nourishing the terraced fields where farmers cultivate their crops. The climate is distinctly tropical, marked by a dramatic shift between a season of heavy monsoonal rains and a long sun-baked dry season that turns the hills a golden brown. The coastline is a spectacular and varied fringe, where the mountains often plunge directly into the sea. In some places, you find long, sweeping beaches of white sand, deserted save for the tracks of sea turtles. In others, rugged limestone cliffs stand as silent sentinels against the force of the waves. The sea itself is remarkably clear, its deep blue hues giving way to brilliant turquoise over the shallow coral reefs that encircle much of the island, particularly around Atoro and Jacko. This dramatic interplay between the high, folded mountains and the pristine, life-giving sea creates a visual tapestry of breathtaking scale and beauty, a land forged by volcanic fire and sculpted by water. This rugged environment is home to a fascinating, though not abundant, collection of wildlife. On land, the animals are often shy and elusive. The people of East Timor, known as the Timorese, are the true heart of the nation, characterized by their warmth, resilience, and a profound sense of community. The population is a rich tapestry of backgrounds: Austronesian descent, Melanesian descent. More than a dozen distinct ethnic groups, unique dialects, customs, traditional dress. This diversity is celebrated, yet a strong national identity unites them, forged through a shared history and a collective desire for a peaceful future. Life outside the capital moves at a gentle, unhurried pace, governed by community obligations, a deep respect for elders and tradition. Language and religion are central pillars. Tidum, widely spoken and a unifying force. Portuguese, an official legacy of colonial times. Indonesian, and many local dialects. Faith plays a vital role. Most identify as Roman Catholic. Churches are prominent features in towns and villages. Religious festivals are major community events, celebrated with great devotion and passion. This faith is often blended with older, animist beliefs, creating a spiritual landscape where the sacred and traditional coexist. Artistic expression is woven into everyday life. The ties, the iconic hand-woven cloth, patterns, and colors vary by region. These intricate weavings tell stories, signify social status, and are essential parts of ceremonies. Music and dance are equally important. The rhythmic beat of drums and the haunting melodies of traditional songs. Performances often recount ancient myths, historical events, or the simple joys of village life, connecting the present generation with their ancestors. The rhythm of daily life is best observed in local markets. fresh fish from the coast, colorful fruits and vegetables from the mountains, and intricate handmade crafts. These vibrant, bustling centers are social hubs, places of conversation, laughter, and connection. Here you can witness the slow, friendly pace of Timorese society, a culture that values personal relationships and mutual support. A shared meal, a story told, a smile exchanged, and the true, enduring spirit of the Timorese people is revealed. The story of East Timor is one of extraordinary endurance, a long and arduous journey through centuries of foreign rule, and a heroic struggle for self-determination. For much of its early history, the island was governed by local rulers and visited by traders from across Asia. The first significant European contact came in the 16th century with the arrival of the Portuguese, who were drawn by the island's valuable sandalwood. Over the next 400 years, Portugal established a colonial presence, though its control was often tenuous and largely confined to the coastal areas. This long period left a lasting legacy on the nation's language, religion, and architecture. The 20th century brought profound and violent upheaval. In 1975, after a revolution in Lisbon, Portugal abruptly withdrew from its colonial empire, leaving East Timor in a state of political uncertainty. A brief civil war erupted, followed by a declaration of independence. However, this freedom was tragically short-lived. Just 9 days later, neighboring Indonesia invaded and annexed the territory, beginning a brutal 24-year occupation. This period was marked by intense conflict, famine, and immense suffering for the Timorese people. They mounted a determined resistance movement from the mountains and campaigned tirelessly on the international stage for their right to be free. The turning point came in the late 1990s. Following a change of government in Indonesia and mounting international pressure, a United Nations-sponsored referendum was held in 1999. The people of East Timor voted overwhelmingly for independence, a courageous act of defiance in the face of immense intimidation. The result triggered a final, devastating wave of violence from anti-independence militias, which left much of the country's infrastructure in ruins. The international community intervened with a peacekeeping force, and after a period of UN administration, East Timor was finally and formally recognized as a sovereign nation on May 20, 2002. Today, the nation's past is not forgotten. It is honored in memorials, statues, and museums, such as the Chega exhibition in Dili, which documents the human rights abuses of the occupation. These sites serve as solemn reminders of the immense price paid for freedom and the resilience of a people who refuse to let their identity be extinguished. Across Timor-Leste, football is the crowd favorite. From sandy beach kickabouts to packed local fields on weekends, volleyball, athletics, and martial arts thrive in schools and clubs, with national teams competing across Southeast Asia. Entertainment is grounded in music, dance, and festivals. Lively nights of song, drums, and community storytelling. In Dili, the iconic Cristo Rey statue crowns a panoramic headland above turquoise waters. The Thais market showcases exquisite hand-woven textiles, treasured cultural heirlooms. Trek up Mount Ramelau for dawn light spilling over peaks and villages. Atoro Island offers some of the world's most biodiverse reefs, with calm, clear water close to shore. At the eastern tip, Jaco Island and Nino Konis Santana National Park protect sacred beaches and rich forests. Explore Baucau's colonial charm, Cam's serene coast, and cool highland towns like Ailo. While Timor-Leste has no UNESCO World Heritage Sites yet, its cultural landscapes and marine treasures make a strong case for future recognition. As one of the world's youngest nations, East Timor stands today at a hopeful yet challenging crossroads focused on the monumental task of nation-building. It is a democratic republic with a president and a multi-party parliament. The initial years of independence were heavily reliant on revenue from offshore oil and gas fields in the Timor Sea. That income built state institutions, but now the country is diversifying its economy to create a sustainable model for long-term growth. The government's vision centers on key priorities to improve citizens' lives: tourism, agriculture, fisheries, the nation's natural beauty, world-class diving spots, mountain trekking routes in the fertile highlands, improving coffee production, increasing food security, Investments in infrastructure. Better roads, reliable electricity, clean water systems. Education and healthcare are cornerstones. A new generation is growing up in a free, peaceful East Timor. Quality schooling and opportunity are the top investment. Schools are being built. Teachers are being trained. Young people embrace technology, smartphones and internet access. If you like this video, please subscribe, like and share, and click the playlist above to watch more videos. Thanks for watching.